Episode 14. Here we are. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Dante.
Dante, how are we today?
John.
Big week.
It is a big week. Large week. We got a lot to talk about today. We have the Elimination Chamber this Saturday.
That is correct.
We have some Raw SmackDown talk going on. We're going to give our predictions for the Elimination Chamber as well.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be we're going to run through like the first half of the show. We're going to run through what happened on SmackDown, Raw, some lead up. I feel like the most part is going to be an Elimination Chamber prediction show.
Yeah, we did the Royal Rumble predictions during our last podcast as well. So moving forward, doing predictions, that's going to be during the podcast.
Seems like how it works.
I feel like it makes more sense. We can talk about it more and such. But I'm doing good today, John. We had a very good start to the day this morning. Good morning.
Oh, you want to talk about
it? Me and John had a great morning. I accidentally sent John a voice recording that I thought I sent to my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So that was a great way
I woke up to a raspy voiced Dante being, "Good morning, baby girl. I hope you slept well.
I've been thinking about you all night.
I was thinking about, I had a dream about you." It was crazy. I woke up, I woke up to a voice. I thought it was going to be like, "Hey man, I'm running late," or like, da-da-da. No. And I play the voice message and it's just like, "Hey, good morning." I'm like, what the fuck is, I was like, but you're also like, hey, I'm sorry you're sick. And I was like, I'm not sick.
I feel great.
It took me 2 listens to realize it wasn't for me. Because I was like, what, are we not recording today?
One of my favorite parts is, so then he texts me back saying like, "Oh, good morning, sweetheart." I'm doing a podcast with a special someone today. He and one of my favorite things is on the voice message said that you kept it. It's like saved.
Oh, I have it in my phone. I absolutely.
I was like, you're gonna have that forever.
I won't play it. I feel like playing it might be too much.
No, it's okay. We don't have to do that. I think you translated it just fine. But yeah, me and John are off to a hot start today.
It was crazy.
I want to keep the momentum riding for this podcast. I'm very excited.
I got a mic stand too. In other news,
big time. People won't see it, but Sophie also got a mic stand.
That's true. Yeah, people won't see it.
Won't see it, but it's true. We're leveling up here.
Crazy. So without further ado, we can get right on rolling here. We got some SmackDown. We got some Raw.
Yes,
I think we just jump all the way back to SmackDown. We just touch on SmackDown a little bit to. What happened on SmackDown? Was it Paul Heyman promo?
Yeah, there was Paul Heyman promo. They had the tag.
Oh, with fucking Jey and yeah. Jesus Christ, my memory is nuts.
Yeah, so we talked about that last week, how obviously leading up to it, Jey Uso had not been seen with the Bloodline, questioning whether he was going to show up to defend the belt with Jimmy just for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And when we talked about this last week, I did not realize it was only for the SmackDown Tag Team belt. So I was under the impression that they could lose last week, that they were going to lose those belts. But as we saw, Jey Uso did actually return.
That was
to help his brother. Dude, the pop segment from the crowd was sick. That was sick.
And like the whole fact of Jimmy just being like, "I'm gonna do this on my own," and he comes walking out, like obviously he had the 2 belts, but he comes walking out on his own, and they're like, whoever it was, whoever I always forget her name, Kayla Braxton, who was the announcer?
Or something.
Isn't she dating Ricochet?
Yes, yeah. It's not her though. It's not Kayla Braxton.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Or I guess it does matter. Sorry. I didn't mean
no disrespect.
Yeah, that's kind of weirdly passive. She's like, and fighting for the Usos, Jimmy, and then like Jimmy stops like, wait. There he is.
And everyone
he's
goes
walking
crazy.
down with the belts. And he's walking down the aisle, and holy shit, really, really hyped. And I think just the crazy storytelling about like, and it's what Sami said too. Mm-hmm. Jey is here for his brother. Jey cares more about his brother than he does Roman or the Bloodline or whatever. And that was especially because I think like after the match or whatever it was, maybe it was early on Raw. I forget where it happened, but it was like Jimmy was like, so you're back?
Yeah, that was right after the match.
And then Jey was like, we'll see. I'm thinking about it. So it's like I love the fact that Jay's back and for his brother. It helped the tag team storyline, but we still got Jey on the fence.
Yeah, and then right when he was saying that to Jimmy, he said, "I'll think about it," walks off. Paul Heyman's in the back, kind of creeping.
Yes.
Picking it up, and he goes, like, did he say anything? Nah, I didn't
and that
say
was the
anything.
same thing that the Usos did like months ago
Yep,
or whatever it was.
exactly.
Like I didn't hear anything or like whatever.
Exactly.
Really,
so
really
then
cool.
that led into another thing. And this is what's great about the Bloodline promo storyline is that it's not like one part of the episode. Like they have the match, that was it. Throughout the episode, you have the little backstage things. You have the little pieces. Nothing nothing that you'd think is crazy, but little pieces that really do like affect the story a good amount. So Jey Uso's walking through the back, kind of near the equipment trucks and stuff like that. Sami Zayn is there.
I love
just
this.
like
I
chilling
love
there,
this.
like it's like, oh, what are you doing here, type of thing. And they're talking, just saying, whatever, blah 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 blah. And then Sami Zayn goes, "I acknowledge you, Jey Uso." Woo! Oh my, because he's
God,
he's telling Jey like what he's been telling him. You don't need Roman. Like you can like the ship is going down. Like the ship is going down. You don't have to go down with it. I think he said a variation of that a few weeks ago. It's really just building up to, I think, Jey eventually turning on Sam. It's going to be so heartbreaking when that's what I think is going to happen.
Main event Jey turning on
or
Roman.
He could do both.
He could.
I don't know.
He could go back to main event Jey.
It's just so sad when you see like these little things. Sammy's trying so hard to have Jey on his side, and they do the knuckles, and you think that they're brothers.
Yeah.
And it's building up to it, and it's going to be very heartbreaking if it does happen. But oh my gosh, incredible storytelling.
Yeah,
unbelievable
storytelling. And then after, Paul is like, which I guess it was also to get them out of like traveling to Canada because like the DUIs or whatever.
Yeah.
But in storyline, Paul Heyman says to Jimmy or Jey, Jimmy. Paul Heyman says to Jimmy, Roman wants you to watch Elimination Chamber at home. Watch it on TV to get a TV's perspective. And I don't know if it was this deep, but this is how I took it, is that Roman was home for that SmackDown. Roman was home watching that SmackDown. So Roman on TV, because it makes fucking sense.
Right.
Roman on TV saw what was broadcast on TV, the Sami and Jey.
They never do that shit, ever.
I'm curious if that's actually what they're doing, because it would be like, it's nice to throw in that like breaking the wrestling wall logic of like, well, Roman's not here. But of course he's watching
it's
SmackDown.
Logical.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Of course he's watching SmackDown, watching his bloodline. So he's going to see what happens.
Exactly. What did he say? He said there are some things that you see on TV that you shouldn't see in person or something like that.
Or that you miss. There's certain things you see watching it on TV.
Yeah, something along those lines. But yeah, just little seeds being planted, like little just extra things being thrown in there that are just building up to this match. And tomorrow night too, the final SmackDown before Elimination Chamber, I'm sure we'll see Roman appear, or at least Sami appear.
Roman's gotta
be. I'm assuming,
I don't know if anything is announced.
I'm assuming Roman will be there to hype up the match some more. And also Sami keeps jumping over the barricade in his black sweatshirt, which I love.
The hoodie over the head and just like infiltrating, like taking over the. You know what I mean?
Absolutely love it.
Really funny. So he immediately takes it's not like, and he takes the hoodie off and he's wearing a t-shirt that says his name on him. But also, we kind of skipped over it. To exactly to what you're saying, but like when Paul Heyman at the beginning of the show had his segment, and then Sami comes like running in and whatever.
Yes.
But the biggest part of that, Sami kind of got in his face, and like really, really good Sami and Paul promo. But afterward backstage, Paul is like to Jimmy is like, how come you guys didn't have my back? Like I thought we were all family. So now there's even seeds being planted of like Paul thinks that the bloodline is also his family, and this is the first instance of Paul being left out in the dust by his family. That none of the Usos came and helped him. Solo didn't, or I guess Solo wasn't there.
Jimmy,
Roman weren't there.
Yeah, because he was like, where were you? And Jimmy was like, I'm trying to get my brother. I've been trying to like reach Jimmy and stuff like that. It's not working. So now you're starting to see cracks between Paul Heyman and other members of the blood. Right now, it seems like the only people that are intact right now are Roman, Solo, and Paul. I feel like those are the only three. And Solo is just kind of like does whatever Roman says. He's just the muscle.
I really liked they added. This is the first time we're seeing real, like, the first time we're seeing emotion from Paul Heyman in terms of, I mean, obviously he's full of emotion, but in terms of connection to it being like a family to him.
Yeah.
Because up until then, it's been like, it's been kind of a business, and he's like, the, what do they call him? Not the yes man.
The wise man.
But it's the first instance of like, you seeing him emotionally like, oh, I thought this was family.
Yeah.
And seeing that crack. Really just amazing storytelling.
And let's just like keep this in mind too. Like from what the Usos, like Jey was saying to Sami over the last few months, like you're not blood and stuff like that. Like you're just a honorary Us, whatever. Paul Heyman ain't blood either. Paul Heyman can be turned down just as much as Sami. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen it in the past. Obviously, it was part of a storyline where Roman Reigns turned on Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman went back with Brock, back to Roman. That was just its own thing. But, Paul Heyman, he ain't an Us. His last name's Heyman, not Uso. You know what? His last name's Heyman, not Noah or Joe, or whatever.
Oh, I heard it pronounced the other day, and I forget.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So he has that history with his family, knows his family very well, but he's not an Uso. So Paul Heyman, who knows how long that relationship could come to an end too. Can I tell you something?
Before you go,
go
I
ahead.
just want to tell you what I don't want to happen.
Okay.
It would be such a waste if this all concludes with just Paul being like, just kidding, I am with Brock. You know what I mean? Like that would be, I don't think that's what they're going to do.
If they were going to do that, they would have done that last year, which they kind of did, but
yeah, that's true.
At this point, if they did this whole storyline for it to end with Paul Heyman ultimately turning on just Roman Reigns in general, it would be stupid.
Yeah, it'd be a waste.
That kind of reminds me of you have a show built up for so long just to have a cop out ending. Like I thought I would always kind of think of like The Walking Dead or something like that, where it's like the beginning of the show is he's in the hospital, wakes up to a zombie apocalypse. People would be like, the cop-out ending would be he just wakes up and it was all a dream.
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you did 10 seasons of that shit just for that to happen. And it's like you just built up the greatest storyline in history for 2.5, 3 years just for it to be a cop-out ending like that. At this point, we've said it. I trust whatever they do. I don't think they'll end it shitty like that.
The Last of Us clears The Walking Dead, and this is The Last of Us, brother.
Bro,
The Last of Us
is still watch it. I have to.
So fucking
what is it on?
Good. HBO Max.
HBO, I have HBO.
So fucking good. Anyway, let's turn this into a Last of Us.
Yeah.
So anyway, on episode 5.
I'll catch up and we can talk more about it next week. So what I was gonna say is WWE put out this video on their YouTube. It's just history of Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. It's over an hour long.
Really?
I watched it all last night.
I'll have to watch that.
Bro, there's just so many different
When does it,
parts
like how far back does it start?
April of 2022.
Oh, so it started
right after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's been going on for 9 months. Well, almost a year, but like he was in the Bloodline almost like for almost 9 months. That's wild. But I was just watching it and just seeing just the different like pieces of the puzzle being put together, and you just see it like now where we are, and you can just see along the way like, oh my gosh, like that was so important to the storyline. Like, oh my gosh, like I forgot how important that was to the story. It's crazy to think how all of these different promos, matches,
Sami Zayn, the Bloodline, complete
interferences,
history.
like all these little things meant something, and it all like again putting together pieces of the puzzle. And it just amazes me how WWE, like this story is just so good compared to anything else they've done. And it makes me wish that they maybe don't have to put in like all that same effort that you're putting into this into every other storyline. But it just makes me think, man, wrestling would be so fucking cool if every storyline got just a little piece of attention like this one is.
Here's what I will say. I did start seeing some stuff on Twitter, and it was like, oh, the last person... I'm going to get it wrong, but it was something like, oh, well, the last person to actually pin Roman Reigns clean was Jey Uso.
Oh, no, the first person to pin Roman Reigns on the main roster was Jey Uso. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then, and it was when like the Usos were still doing like the makeup, and like Roman was still in the Shield. And it was like people like, this has been going on since then. It's like, no, it hasn't. It's just a nice coincidence.
Listen, WWE's done a great job with the long-term storytelling here. They haven't had this tribal chief thing built out for the last 10 years.
Yeah, that was just a one-off match. Like, oh, surprise! And it's not. That has nothing to do with it.
It's a great coincidence that they can have in their back pocket moving forward.
I hope they don't bring it up because it's just so irrelevant.
It's irrelevant, but if they ever did a whole like Jey Uso versus Roman story, that's when it get brought up, but they shouldn't bring it up now. Like, it has nothing to do with what's going on with Cody and Sami and all that stuff. if they eventually do Jey Roman, sure, but it's a coincidence. That's all it is.
Not just so maybe it's not a whole bloodline episode. Let's just, the rest of SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown was SmackDown. We can just kind of touch on the highlights here. We do have our predictions to get to.
Yes.
I mean, the tag match. The Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Usos. I thought the match in general was really, really good.
I thought it was very enjoyable.
Oh my god, really.
I'm still
good.
like Ricochet and Braun Strowman's weird. It's a weird duo, but. The high flying big man.
They
mix,
work together.
You can't go wrong with it. If you got two solid workers,
don't like Braun.
Yeah, I mean he's boring. I think I liked him a lot better when he was Monster Among Men. Like that was his gimmick 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can't go wrong with a good big guy high flyer duo. If they're good workers, which they are, I mean it works. So.
Madcap Moss is set to face. You don't like it? I like it.
I think it's cool, like having someone different.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the least legit out of all 4 of those people. Like when he faces,
I disagree. Santos.
When he, I mean, Santos hasn't done anything on the main roster.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's nothing really for me to back him up. But I think like if you're going Madcap Moss versus Gunther tomorrow night, I think it's gonna be like either a squash or I don't know. I just can't. There's nothing there that makes me think Madcap is gonna upset him. Not that I think Ray or Karrion or anyone would, but
I think and I hope it's a good match because I think they bring Madcap. I mean, Madcap has the
he
look,
has
man.
looks and he has skill. He's
look.
talented. He's talented.
I think this will be a really, really good. This is almost like a not a make or break moment. It's more just to see
what he has.
See what he has and to see if WWE trusts him.
Sure.
If this if him and Gunther have a great match, then I think that's an inclination of like, oh, they see something.
I respect
Madcap.
that. Yeah, I respect that. Maybe I don't know. I think
I think this could be his breakout match.
I agree. No, I agree with that. It's not that it's not that I don't like him or anything like that. I just don't know because he hasn't really done anything on the main roster for me to take him seriously. Also, his name's Madcap Moss. I just don't know if I can.
And he's just returned.
I get it. He was Baron Corbin's like sidekick for so long. That's how I remember him.
Right.
Karrion Kross hasn't done much. Santos hasn't done really anything. Ray's the only guy that's a
Santos and Ray
star there.
We're tearing it down though.
So did you see? You saw after the match they did the exchange.
Yes, really.
That's very cool. I hope they make either do a tag team or they make kind of like a stable together because I know Santos already has his stable. Right. I wonder if they'll do something with Ray.
I guess they have like Lucha Underground history. Apparently.
Sure. That could be something. I know Santos has wrestled in other promotions and done stuff. So I think that would be cool if they did something together. Obviously, similar styles of wrestling. They have that history. And it could be a good way to build up Santos as well. He was a big name in NXT. He was doing very well. Yeah. So
was he solo in NXT?
No, he had the same group. He had the same
gotcha.
group. And instead of Zelina Vega, it was what was her name? I forget what her name is, but she's still in NXT. She didn't get called up because she was injured at the time, so they instead brought up Zelina instead. What was her name? I don't remember. But yeah, I think that would be cool if they did something along those lines.
All right. Let's jump to Raw.
Okay.
We got. I mean, a lot of this I'm going to skip over. So I think we're going to talk about it anyway during the predictions. Like
right.
The Bobby contract signing, but we'll predictions. Skipping over a lot. Okay, here we are.
This is the stuff right here, the big stuff.
Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes' promo. Wow.
Oh, wait, is this...
What?
Oh, you said Paul Heyman. Sami Zayn promo and Cody Rhodes. I think you said Paul Heyman. Oh, yeah, it says Paul Heyman right there, though.
But Paul Heyman... Oh, wait, you're right. Sorry, I'm looking at a picture of Paul. You're right.
I don't know why
Sami
that
Zayn,
video is there.
Yes, you're right.
Sami Zayn, Cody
Bleacher
Rhodes.
Report Bleacher Report always puts like the previous week's video.
I was confused because I was like, is that last week's article? But it said Sami Zayn. Okay. Anyways.
Yes. So Sami and Cody promo. Sami starts off and he remembers last week or whenever it was that Cody acknowledged Sami potentially winning and just. Calls out Cody, blah, blah, blah. And just the emotion behind Sami just genuinely asking, do you think I can do it? Because he doesn't believe he can do it. Mm-hmm. And he needs to ask Cody, the only person so far across the entire company that said, I think Sami can beat Roman. And Sami is holding on to that and is, were you lying? He was just basically were you lying?
Oh, my God. The emotion. So
There's so much to talk about.
I
with
wanted
this
to
promo.
tweet it. I didn't tweet this, but this is why I thought. So I'm like, I was doing some work on my laptop and I had Raw on. And I was just kind of like had it on the background, didn't have the volume on, whatever. As soon as I look up and I saw Sami Zayn step into the ring, I stopped what I'm doing, put the volume up, and I watched. That's how fucking good the product has been. Whenever I see guys like Sami, Cody, Roman, is much CTV.
That's how good the product has been. Makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what good storytelling does. But just the emotion you were saying, just Sami Zayn. I've had this one line replaying in my head all week. Do you mean it? And Cody Rhodes is asking him, it doesn't matter if I believe you can do it. Do you believe you can do it? And then Sami goes, do I think I can become Universal Champion? Yes, I can.
Yes.
Do I think I can defeat Roman Reigns? Yes, I can.
Yes.
Do I think I'm going to walk out of Montreal as WWE Undisputed Champion this Saturday? I don't know. I don't know, Cody. I don't know. And it just, you just feel it. Like, you know, obviously it's storytelling, it's this and that, but oh my gosh, the acting chops on these guys it's superb.
And Cody just lighting a fire under him.
So I was nervous because I didn't know if I would have liked these two guys talking to each other before. I didn't know how the promo was going to work. I didn't know if it was going to benefit Cody more than Sami, kind of make Sami look bad going into his match, kind of make someone look weak.
They couldn't have done it better.
They could not have done this better. Cody Rhodes lit a fucking fire underneath Sami Zayn's underneath his ass, bro. And just like seeing Cody Rhodes saying it and Sami Zayn is like getting hyped up, like, yeah, I can do it, I can do it. And then the fucking kicker at the end. I love this. As Cody Rhodes is about to leave, he goes, and one more thing, Sami. I don't want to see you on Raw next Monday because I want to see you at WrestleMania. Oh my God. And they look at each other. Sami was like, okay.
So fucking
And then
good,
we
dude.
skipped over it, but probably the best part of the promo as well was, and Cody Rhodes, I don't think I can talk highly enough about him. I actually can't wait for him to become world champion because I think he is going to be the perfect world champion.
He's just like a Superman. He's a superhero.
Perfect, he's like John Cena, but not the Super Cena. I feel like people can get behind Cody Rhodes. Like he's got that like hustle, loyalty, respect kind of thing going on, but he's not like the overpowered guy, right? Anyways, so Cody Rhodes is like, when I won the Royal Rumble, like Mike Corey's like, finish your story. Finish your story. He goes, I did my part. I need you to do yours. I need you to finish your story. Oh my gosh, dude. It's so good. It's so good. It's so fucking good.
Did you see the TikTok of Roman after
like,
it?
Respond
He's
to it, yeah.
he's like, you need two of these guys to hype each other up to beat me or some shit. Like,
I love how casual he is. Like just so like he's
posted on TikTok.
He's just himself, like sitting there, so cool, calm, collected response. Awesome. But yeah, man. I mean, I was already excited for Sami Zayn Roman this Saturday. I'm fucking hyped for it, dude. I'm so hyped for it. And now people are thinking, like, people are conspiracizing. What if Cody gets involved in the match somehow? What if he costs someone? I don't think it's going to go to that far. But, like, again, with this whole Bloodline storyline, there's so many twists and turns where it's like you genuinely don't know what's going to happen. Do I think Cody's going to get involved? No.
Yeah.
But you can't rule it out.
Because he's not on the card anywhere else. So.
Exactly. You can't rule it out. So it's going to be awesome.
I think at this point, it's like he needs to be involved in whether they split the belts or not. Sami needs to be involved somehow in the main event at Mania.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love...
Forget the tag title shit.
I would love for there to be a way...
Triple threat.
So I'm thinking of how they can like lead into that. So I'm thinking like if Jey costs Sami or something at Elimination Chamber, Cody gets whatever.
There's got to be shenanigans this Saturday.
I would assume there's going to be some sort. If in the hometown again, we're talking about Roman getting heat going into Mania.
Oh, perfect.
The way to do it is the Bloodline turning on Jey Uso turning on Sami, Roman Reigns beating him down in Elimination Chamber in Montreal. But I'd like to see them do the triple threat match too because I get the whole. If they don't do that, I don't think they're splitting the titles at Mania. I think Cody will win both of them, and then he'll do the split himself or something like that. But
a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, the first fall for one belt."
So that's what. They could do it where it's triple threat: first fall for the WWE title, second fall for the Universal, or something along those lines. Listen, if you want to give the fans what they want, you can do that. At the same time, I think doing that match kind of takes away from the whole Cody Rhodes build and story and stuff. But again, the way WWE has been treating this story, I've said a million times, I trust them with what they do. And I think if they did go down that route, they would execute it. They would execute it fine.
And this blows the Cody story out of the water.
The Sami Zayn one?
Yeah. Because like I like the Cody. Oh, he's doing it. I think the Cody story would be way bigger if they didn't have the Bloodline story going on. Because I love the Cody story. Like,
right.
You know, he was in the WWE first, and then he left, made a name for himself, and now he's back, and he's doing it for his father for the title he never won, blah, blah. Like, amazing story.
Right.
And even when he comes out, and like, you know, a couple weeks ago when he would have these promos that would have nothing to do with the Bloodline. And, you know, he's talking about his dad, or Paul Heyman would come out, whatever. Really, really good stuff. But it's like, it's hard to deny that the Bloodline story is just better and more compelling.
I think it's because it's been built up longer as well. And also, I think it's cool too when you have a story that wasn't meant to be come to fruition like this has. So I think like the whole Cody Rhodes Roman thing, I'm not saying it's forced, but like we knew that this was going to happen. And WWE has wanted this to happen.
Yeah, I believe they're both very manufactured, but the Cody one feels manufactured.
Yeah, the whole Sami Zayn one, like sure, did they think like they had this whole thing built out? I don't think they expected Sami to gain the popularity that he does. And this match, this whole thing fell on their lap. The whole Cody Rhodes thing didn't fall on their lap. That's
right.
Him signing WWE, like I guess you could say, fell on their lap, and they led to that. But the whole Sami Zayn thing is more organically, naturally built up. Although fans are happy, like Cody. It's not that. See, the difference with, and we kind of compare the Daniel Bryan Sami Zayn thing.
I was getting ready.
The difference is like when Batista came back and he won the Royal Rumble, people rejected him completely. People were booing him at Batista. Like he literally, that was his nickname because people didn't want it. People aren't booing Cody Rhodes. People aren't rejecting Cody Rhodes. I think we're
lucky people aren't booing Cody.
And we're lucky people aren't booing Cody.
We are.
If it was even a slight sense that was happening, I think Triple H would have flipped the switch and it would have changed things. But since the crowd is still very receptive of him and understand.
I think that helps because they also are getting Sami involved.
Exactly.
So it's like there's not a huge incentive to boo Cody.
They're keeping the people happy by having Sami Zayn still having his fingers and everything, being involved in everything. But I'm very interested to see what they do post Elimination Chamber. Obviously, depending on what happens and stuff. It'll be interesting to see how Sami Zayn keeps going, stays along with the story. What happens with Jey? Blah blah blah. But all these promos are doing, man, it's just hyping me more up for a match that I was already fucking hyped up about.
It's probably the Sami and, the Paul and Cody one and the Cody and Sami one. Two of the best promos to hype up a main event match without the champion involved. Insane. Here's I think you know where I'm going with this. Here's my hot take.
Okay.
This Sami Zayn story. Obviously, we don't know how it's ending yet. We don't know what's going on. Clears Bryan Danielson's bullshit. Fans forced it into this bullshit. People already didn't want Batista versus Randy, and the fans went boo-hoo, boo-hoo, and got their little hero, Daniel Bryan, in, and then he won the titles. Whoop-de-fucking-do. This, though, is organic. Sami deserves it. Sami's doing all this. It's not the fans just being like, boo-hoo, we don't want this match. We want our favorite little whatever. I'm being a little meaner than I believe. But
you don't like Daniel Bryan, don't you? Not that much.
I'm hyperbolizing for sure. I have no problem with him. But
so
it's the story. The story's better. Okay. The story's better.
All right. Here's my response to that. I do agree that the Bloodline story and everything involving Sami Zayn is better than the whole Daniel Bryan rising up, getting to that main event thing. Because it's being told better. It was planned out. The whole Daniel Bryan thing was kind of put together within a few months. There was a lot of things that came involved, like CM Punk leaving WWE led into that match because he was a big, Daniel Bryan advocate who was supposed to face Triple. There was a lot of things that got messed up with CM Punk leaving that led to Daniel Bryan. The whole fans kind of jumping in saying, this is the guy we want. WWE really had no choice but to throw him into the match. But where I respectfully disagree with you on is I do believe that the popularity of Daniel Bryan's was bigger than what Sami Zayn's is now. And we've said this in the past, and I think one of the reasons for that too is because Daniel Bryan had something that is like an easy catchphrase that got fans going every single time he was in the ring. The yes chant, like that was just so that became a cultural thing. Like it wasn't even something WWE based. Like you'd see fans like for other sports starting to cheer yes and stuff. Like he became what he was doing became it just.
I mean, people still do the yes chant.
People still do the yes. It's something that it lasted. It was memorable. And I think just the whole idea of the fans forcing WWE to getting him involved, it just kind of that's something you don't see a lot. Like Vince McMahon sticks to his guns. So the fact that he kind of had to switch directions and put him in, I think says something.
If Sami had that sort of chant, I think
if you switch the guys, I think it would have been similar. I think Sami Zayn would have because
if you're saying that's all that's missing is like Sami not getting a chant, because I do think like visually and like audibly it does sound bigger because the entire I'll go on record of saying this: the yes chant is one of the most amazing things that ever been invented. Because I remember like when you first saw it and how organic the yes chant was, it's an amazing sight to see an entire arena, not one person not doing this and chanting yes. And like zoom out and you see all, 10, 12,000, whatever the fuck amount of people. I'm not here to discredit that. Incredible. But when Sami runs in that hoodie,
I agree.
And people, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I think he gets just as big of a elicited response.
And to his defense too, and I think we'll see this on Elimination Chamber, which we fucking hype, is that Sami Zayn hasn't been using his old theme song where people are chanting
isn't it like the
why can't I think of it right now? It's dun 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 dun. I like had his whole theme song on my head. Like if he comes out to that on Saturday, forget about it. Like
he has to, right? What else?
In his hometown,
he has to. He has to.
So I'll give him the benefit for that. But there was one thing you said earlier where I want to go back to. That's not the only way I think that Daniel Bryan is ahead of him. So Sami Zayn, 1,000% deserves this. Like it's a long time coming. When was the last? Him and Roman technically had a Universal match on SmackDown years ago, but it was a squash. That didn't count. Sami Zayn hasn't been in the main event picture. He hasn't gotten like a proper like chance to win a world championship. Obviously, he's never held a world championship on the main roster. Daniel Bryan, that moment of him winning, and I'm not saying that you didn't mean it like this, was one of the most deserving world title wins, because if you just look of when he started, because he started in the whole NXT thing, and Miz was his coach,
got fired.
He got fired. He didn't even win in NXT, got fired. Then he was like, he lost to Sheamus in 20 seconds at Mania. Like he was fed shit.
That. Wow.
He was fed shit for a while. And for a guy that is as great of a wrestler as he is, a technical wrestler, for him to have gotten treated the way he did was shitty. So like it was a feel good moment to see the guy that seeing a guy that with his shape and stuff who doesn't normally get those moments won the big one. Yeah. So I think like that feel good moment is something to credit as well.
I know you're not saying this for the sake of the comments. Like that, I definitely am not discrediting that.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are.
I know you're not, but just so I'm on the record in the comments, people say like Daniel Bryan absolutely well deserved. Like I said, I'm hyperbolizing. But it was deserved.
They're both similar in a lot of different ways, but they are also different in respective ways. Where it's like, again, Daniel Bryan's this whole thing was just kind of put together on the fly. Did they expect Sami to get a world championship match in Elimination Chamber in Montreal, Quebec? I can't tell you that was going through their head a year ago, but this seems to be more like built up. This is what they planned on doing. So I think that's the big difference between the two. And again, not to discredit Sami, I don't want to compare the two, saying this one had a better run than who, because they're both special in their own way. I think after Elimination Chamber... And also, we haven't seen the ending of it, too. That's what I'm about to say. I think it's also kind of unfair to compare the two when we haven't seen the ending of the one.
After the Elimination Chamber, if this ends... If the Sami dream ends at Elimination Chamber and they do the tag title thing or whatever, then it obviously doesn't hit the same level. If by some God's grace, Sami gets in the main event and wins... Then we're having a conversation. I think we're having a conversation. Then we'll have a conversation. 100%.
I agree with you. We have to see it come to fruition first. But as it's going along, there are a lot of similarities. And man, Do I think Sami's going to win? No, but I really fucking want him to. And I really want him to have his moment because he is so deserving of it. So deserving of it.
I think, there's other stuff. Blah, blah,
what do you think of Rick Boogs being back? I think him and Elias are doing like a tag team thing now, which kind of makes sense.
Are they doing tag team?
I think they had like a backstage promo and everything. I mean, it makes sense. You have the guy with the electric guitar and a guy with an acoustic guitar. Two big muscly guys. One has a beard, one has a mustache.
Madcap Moss and I just forgot his name. What's his name again? Rick Boogs are the same person to me.
Oh, that's actually funny.
They're the same exact person.
I think Rick Boogs just has a mustache, a thick mustache.
And my sentiment towards I like them both. I think Rick Boogs is great and has a really good look and is fun. I think the same exact thing for Madcap Moss. My sentiment is the same for them. I hope. Oh, I think while we're on it, The Miz is just getting squashed nowadays.
Yeah.
The Miz is just a former world champion. The Miz, one of the best talkers in the business.
Yeah.
One of the best heels. One of the best IC champions.
He hasn't done anything.
No.
I'm actually surprised he's not in the United States Chamber match because I feel like that would have been a good place for him.
Doesn't need to win it, but
listen, The Miz isn't he's never been the best guy on the roster or anything, but he is one of the most reliable guys. Like when you need someone to cut a promo, you need someone to hype up an event, you need someone to put on a decent match with someone. The Miz is your guy. I feel like he's always kind of been like this in WWE where he goes through phases of just losing a bunch of matches, and then he has phases where he's doing really well. He won at WrestleMania last year at Logan Paul. So it's not like he's just one of those guys that just always loses and never wins. But there are times where it feels like they're kind of just wasting him.
Yeah,
but he's a great talk. He has the show at Miz and Mrs. They have that thing going on. So he's a major part in what WWE does, and they're
and when he was on his IC title run, he was having bangers.
He's one of the modern day one of the best IC champions of our generation.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Or in recent history, period. He's one of the best on the roster. Hopefully, I feel like he's just kind of it's WrestleMania season. You kind of know what you're going into WrestleMania with these matches, and I think he's kind of on the outskirts, and they're just kind of throwing him in random things.
He'll get something. I don't know what. Maybe
listen, it's 2 nights of Manias. With the IC United States title, sometimes I usually do this. I would like to see the U.S. title be defended a ladder match or something at Mania, and the Miz could be in something like that.
That'd be sick. I'd love that.
I think that would be cool, but that's far ahead. Hopefully they have something good for the Miz at Mania, or if not Mania, post Mania, they have a good storyline for him moving forward.
All right, we got some Elimination Chamber picks to make,
Let's
brother.
Talk about Elimination Chamber.
So here's what we haven't settled it. We haven't really nailed down what we're doing. Obviously, as I'm sure you've seen, the SCW Predictions Championship has been changed to just the SCW Championship and has been moved over to the quiz division.
The QD.
So we're defending it back on quizzes. It seems to be going well. We're probably just going to keep doing it. With that said, we don't have anything to defend for the predictions anymore, and just scheduling wise and videos and stuff, it would get confusing and wouldn't make sense to, be defending the same title for the predictions. So what we think we're going to do is we're going to do some sort of, the winner of the predictions is going to be some sort of Money in the Bank-esque thing.
Sure.
I think we're leaning on you can cash in a bonus 5 points. Or maybe even, I kind of like the idea of at the end of the quiz, even after the wager round, when it's all said and done, you can cash in an extra 5 points.
Yep.
And if that gets you over, then you win the title.
I think I like that concept because I think we talked about doing a Money in the Bank type of concept in the past, whether it was our old channel or this one. I think it would be cool if we do wager, put in the number, put in the answer, and then before Sophie, or before you put the cap on, lock it in, you can say, I'm cashing in my briefcase to give me 5 extra points.
You think we should do that before or after? Because it's a little bit more of a run-in.
I think it would be more of a risk if you do it before the question is read.
But should it be a risk, though? That's the thing.
If you won the predictions, you should have the right to cash in whenever you want, right?
Yeah.
Because cashing in, you cash in on something that's beaten down already.
But it has to. That's what I'm saying. So, but does it have to be cashed in before the final total? Because I think you can cash in after the final total.
Okay. So let's say all right.
So you kind of
Sophie reads us the answer, and then you can put in the Money in the Bank. Or you say
more so Sophie reads the answer, and then the final score is 24. You 24, me 20, and then I'm like, oh crap, boom, cashing in my 5 points, 25-4, I win the title. I think that's fair. That's because that's how I'm hoping it goes.
I'm happy that we're talking this through live on the pod, figure out what we were gonna do. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So I think we'll hammer out the final details. But we're gonna do a test run. We're gonna see how it works the first time. But that's what we're gonna be doing. It seems forward. Until maybe we get another belt. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll do the Money in the Bank thing.
Okay.
Elimination Chamber came up quick.
Yeah, wicked. I keep forgetting it's in like 2 days.
3 weeks after Royal Rumble.
Jesus
wow,
Christ.
They didn't really have much time.
But then it's over a month wait to Mania.
6 weeks,
I think. You have nothing in March.
What's today's date?
We're in the middle of February.
It's going to be the 18th, and I think Mania is the 3rd or the 4th or something like that. First weekend of April. Nuts.
Damn, we have a little bit of a wait.
A lot of wrestling coming up.
Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley.
All right. So the last time Edge and Judgment Day had a match, it was the I Quit match, and Finn Balor won that one. So I don't think this is the last match between Edge and Judgment Day.
Probably not.
I think there's going to be one more big blow-off match because...
Especially if they want to get Edge on WrestleMania.
They're going to get Edge on WrestleMania. If this is... I mean, if they've been doing this story for a fucking year now, you might as well have it end at WrestleMania instead of just throwing him into a random storyline with 6 weeks left. I'm picking Edge and Beth Phoenix here simply because Finn Balor won the last match. And I think if they're going to have that one last match, it's going to be like Edge has one win, Finn Balor has one win, Mania will decide the ultimate winner of the feud. I think I think it's going to be like Edge pitting Finn because I think Rhea Ripley has to be protected going into Mania. I don't think she should be eating pins, especially by someone who isn't a full-time wrestler. It's not that I don't care for this match, but it's not something I'm too interested in.
Always happy to see Edge wrestle.
Edge and Beth is great.
Seeing Beth back, and obviously Finn.
All four of these people are great wrestlers.
Exactly.
It's just the whole story is that I'm not really. This has just been going on for so long. Like the Bloodline, we're talking about long-term storytelling, how it could be really good, and sometimes it can just drag on.
And especially how different the Judgment Day is, because now they're just like a gang
bullies.
Yeah. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not as invested into this match. It's gonna be a good match. I'll watch it, and I'm sure it'll be good. Again, we have Finn Balor, Edge, Beth, Rhea, but it should be great.
I am going for one of the same reasons you said. Rhea Ripley is the Royal Rumble winner. I think Rhea Ripley's pinning Edge.
Oh, wow.
I think Rhea Ripley's going to pin Edge.
Okay.
And Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor are going to win.
Okay.
And I think it's literally just what you said. I think there's just she's facing Charlotte at Mania. She's coming off Royal Rumble win. It would suck. And obviously, Finn can get pinned or whatever. But to me, it just makes the most sense. And to your credit, though, Charlotte's not involved at all in the match.
No, but I
really
understand that. You're trying to build up Rhea, making her dominant and having her pin Edge before Mania. I mean, that's massive.
That'd be sick. I think that'd be huge.
Okay. And, hey, Bleach Report agrees with you.
Do they? Oh, yeah.
Balor Ripley.
Okay. Women's match. Number 1 contender match. Elimination Chamber match. We got Carmella, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Liv Morgan, and Natalya. To me, there's an obvious one. Love having Carmella back. I hope she gets a place in Mania. It just seems too short. Nikki Cross, love that we're getting this crazy Nikki Cross.
This character's back.
100%. Raquel Rodriguez needs more time. Liv Morgan already seems like they already had her time. That's not me saying it. That's just what love Liv Morgan, but whatever. Natalya,
give or take. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Asuka. I think Asuka's winning.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm with you.
I mean, come on.
Just after returning to this evil gimmick, hyping it up for the last few months, returning at the Rumble, Liv and Rhea were the last 3.
How else are they going to get her on the card?
Exactly.
Mania,
listen, Bianca has faced she's faced Bayley, Becky. I don't think she's faced Charlotte yet. One of the only, dominant females on the roster that she hasn't matched up with yet is Asuka. They were doing teammate stuff for a little bit. But she's never had a one-on-one match with her, I believe, or at least to this capacity, like for a title or anything like that. But even if they did, and I'm forgetting something, this side of Asuka is different than anything we've seen.
100%.
This gimmick is killer, and I think if WWE is going to run with this, they need to just not turn around. Like, give her the ball and have her run with it. Like, do not change anything. Have her win this match. Have her go into Mania, dominate, become the Raw Women's Champion.
They had a I think it was a women's tag match. And Asuka was involved. Might have been a six.
It was this past Raw?
Tag? Yeah,
it was.
And Asuka turned on her own team, started beating up her own team. She's beating up everyone.
Love it.
I think that was huge to be like, okay, this is the new Asuka. She's not a face or a heel. She's just beating the fuck out of everyone. I think like it seems almost too obvious, but sometimes obvious isn't bad.
I can see a world where Liv Morgan wins as well, some way, because I do believe like she is. I think she still needs to be presented as one of the top females on the roster, even though she's not like a Bianca or Charlotte or Becky or anything like that. But she is still credible. She's a former champion. I'd be interested to see if maybe like they do like a triple threat because
Be cool.
It would be cool because I'm thinking like. They do Asuka Bianca. Bianca eats the pin. She's been the champ for years, so I guess it's not a bad thing. But if you throw Liv in there, maybe she could eat the pin to protect Bianca a little bit. They could do something like that. I also want to see Liv get a title match because I think she deserves it.
At the very least, I hope the final two in the chamber is Asuka.
I think that should be the final two. And then, like, Liv, again, she was number 2 in the Royal Rumble, or she was number 1 and 2, went the entire way. Have her start the Elimination Chamber and have her be the last
100%. 100%.
If you're not going to have her win the match, make her look like the workhorse. Make her look like someone that can go the distance in these matches. But we're both picking Asuka.
Men's Elimination Chamber for the United States Championship: Montez Ford versus Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest.
Yeah, this is another match that I think
this is the speaking of workhorse. This is the workhorse match.
This is the workhorse match.
I'll tell you who I want to win.
Yes,
I want Montez Ford to win.
I think a lot of people are in agreement.
I want Montez Ford to win. I would even love to see. Well, I'm pretty convinced they're doing Seth and Logan at Mania.
Yes, I agree with you. Especially after this Monday, they kind of talked about that.
If Seth wins the United States title, then he has it in Mania. Then what are they going to do? Logan versus Seth, the U.S. title. Logan is on contract for 4 matches a year, some shit.
It doesn't really make sense. I think most people in this match, you can argue could win this. Damian Priest, former United States champion. You could do the whole, adding gold to the Judgment Day. If they do the whole United States Championship ladder match at WrestleMania, this is just me saying that I want this to happen. Any of these guys could walk out as champion.
It doesn't really matter who wins.
I don't think this really matters. I'll say who I think is going to win. Okay. I think Theory's going to win.
Oh,
because
me too.
I do think that they need to keep building him up as, look, we know what happened last year. Money in the Bank winner, lost it, made him look stupid. Now he's kind of getting a resurgence with this championship, kind of being like ever since Triple H took over and was giving these belts a fresh breath air, like the Intercontinental United States. It's really been Bobby Lashley and Theory that have been like the guys that have been carrying the United States Championship. And Theory has been doing a great job. I think he's been putting on great matches. His character work has been a lot better. He's got a new edge to him. And I think if WWE wants to continue to build him up to eventually be a main event star, which I do think he can be one day, he needs credible wins like this. He needs to go through these wrestlers, these former champions and stuff, and win this chamber match and walk in the Mania the champion. That's how you naturally build stars. I think Triple H is doing a good job with him now that he's not the briefcase holder anymore. And I think you got to keep this going.
I could really see them using this as an opportunity, like a random win. Like I could see, like you said, I could see Johnny Gargano winning this, and that starts Johnny Gargano's shit. I could see Bronson Reed winning it. Like you said, I want to pick Montez Ford.
I want to pick Montez
fucking
Ford.
bad.
It would be so cool if he won it, and then you started seeing cracks with him and Angelo and all that, and then he goes in the Mania. Him going in the Mania as the United States champ, in a ladder match, would be fucking fire. Would be fire. And I think we'll see Montez become a singles champion sometime soon, hopefully this year. I just don't know I don't think Elimination Chamber is the night. I really hope it is.
know.
I think he'll put on a fucking unbelievable performance. I think WWE is going to allow him to showcase himself as a single star to get people prepared for that. But I don't think he wins.
I wasn't very boring. I was the opposite of boring for my Rumble picks. I think I'm playing this one safer than before.
Bro, listen, Money in the Bank is on the line here.
That's what I'm saying. I need those 5 points.
Yeah, the points are on the line. Yeah, but again, you can make an argument for... I think the only person that you can't make an argument for, honestly, is Bronson Reed. Just because he's so new, and I think he's still too early to have a belt.
Yeah.
You can argue Montez, Gargano, you could, Theory, Seth. I think all those guys are credible. Bronson Reed, I like him, but it's too early.
We need to see more.
Too early.
Then we got Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Is there a stipulation to it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. At least not yet. Obviously, we're recording this the Thursday before SmackDown. If anything changes, I'm sure a stipulation, or I'm sure something's going to change on SmackDown.
Yes, they had the contract signing on Raw. We skipped over that, so we can kind of bring it up here. I still am just like...
I don't care.
I chose the guy who I think is going to... I picked Bobby Lashley.
I picked Brock.
Okay, so we have...
Brock.
We did our research before. They fought each other one-on-one twice going into this match. At the Royal Rumble, Bobby Lashley won the WWE Championship, and then Crown Jewel, Brock Lesnar won. They had other like Elimination Chamber matches, 5-way matches for championships, but we're not counting. That's not one-on-one. We're not counting that. I just can't imagine that I don't know why they're having this match at Chamber and not WrestleMania. I'm still under the impression that something's going to happen at Chamber that prevents the match from starting or something like that.
Like they're just going to beat the shit out of each other and neither of them make it to the ring.
This is what I think.
Uh-oh.
Before the match starts, Brock's coming out, whatever. Hurt Business comes out. This is when the Hurt Business reunites. They just beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. It could be MVP, Cedric, Shelton. Omos has kind of been teased of being with MVP and kind of helping out the Hurt Business the last few weeks. Maybe Omos is a new member. Because if they don't do that match at WrestleMania, again, we're kind of talking about like how Edge, like if they take him away from the Judgment Day feud, what are they going to build up for the next 6 weeks? Who are they going to feed to Bobby and Brock the next 6 weeks? You might as well have this story continue to Mania. And if they have the match at Elimination Chamber, then it's again like maybe this is just me being nitpicky, but like then it's like 2 wins versus 1 win going into Mania, where it's like if it's a one-on-one blow off, one win versus 1 win at Mania, that means so much more. It's like okay, who's going to come out of this rivalry like with the most wins? Who's going to get the upper hand?
I don't see them not doing Brock versus Bobby, man. But then we have 6 more weeks of Brock and Bobby.
That's why
I'm already sick of it. So I'm already bored of it.
Yeah, I mean, I pick Bobby. If they have the match, I'm picking Bobby for the same reason. If it starts the match, I think Hurt Business maybe gets involved, distracts Brock, Bobby wins.
You know what they need to do? They need to do Gunther versus Brock.
See, that's what I want. So if they do this match at Chamber, and then Brock has to go and face someone else.
There's no Intercontinental Championship stuff on this.
No, because that match is happening on SmackDown tomorrow.
Oh, right, with Madcap. Yeah.
Which honestly, like I am upset the Intercontinental title isn't being defended, but I love how there's only 5 matches because in 5 matches, we'll just say they have 3 hours.
The Chamber matches are going to be long.
Those are going to be long, but I think each match gets a big focus. Like all these matches, the singles matches shouldn't be less than 10 minutes. Like they should have good run. All these superstars should have a chance to put on a good match.
There's no filler. Like you could argue Edge
that
and
might
Beth.
be the only filler match. Every other match seems like it feels like a main event type of, because Bobby and Brock's a main event match.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if the match does happen, I'm picking Bobby. I'm still on the fence of whether or not the match actually... They're hyping... Listen, WWE has hyped up matches saying it's going to happen. It actually doesn't. The steel cage match, Becky and Bayley, they said it was going to happen at Raw's 30. Didn't actually happen.
Maybe Lita runs in again and beats up Bobby.
Oh my gosh. Or Trish Stratus didn't show up. Maybe this is when she shows up in Canada. But yeah, so that... Who knows what's going to happen, but... The main event.
The match we want to talk about, finally to it, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I've never talked about how much I hate that.
What?
Undisputed WWE Universal I get it because it's like 16 belts into one. I get it, but fuck, that's a bad name.
Yeah,
Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns.
This the storytelling in this match.
God, it's gonna be.
This
so
is gonna be
good.
one of the best storytelling matches.
This might be one
ever.
of the best B show.
It could
B
go
shows of all time.
Oh my god, that's so funny you said that. So I was also what culture, all these channels on YouTube. They put out videos like 10 best B show pay-per-views.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't watch it, but I saw that.
I saw that.
Thing.
So, dude, but honest to God, this could be number one on that list.
I think so.
Because just you have 9 months, 10 months of storytelling just coming to a potential close in this match. Again, we talked about it could extend past this, who knows? But this could be the end-all, be-all for the Sami Zayn bloodline, or at least Sami Zayn Roman Reigns storyline. And I hope this match goes a fucking hour. I hope. I hope when this match starts, it's like 9:30. It's like this has only been going on for like an hour and a half. Like there's so much time left.
If it's a squash, I'm gonna lose my. I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed.
If Vince McMahon was still in charge, I would be afraid of that. But I don't think Triple H is gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to sound like a fucking broken record, but WWE has done such a good job with this story that they can do no wrong here. I think that doing everything the right way, and they're not gonna spoil or ruin one of the best storylines they've had ever to like end it like a stupid result or something like that. I can't see it happening.
I have a feeling we both picked the safe guess. Mm-hmm. Who do you got winning?
I am picking Roman Reigns to win the match
as well.
And bro.
What are they not going to have the titles on him into Mania? I mean,
but again, there could be a
journey. There could be a journey. No, he's not going to lose. But like, there could be a journey of Roman Reigns. Now he's losing his bloodline. He lost his belts. He's losing everything before WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And WrestleMania is when he can get at least the belts back or something. But also, he's not a face. I don't know, man.
Listen, Cody said to Sami on Raw, he's just a man. Roman's just a man.
We didn't talk about that part, but that part was so
There's a lot of parts of the promo that we didn't really get
Sami was like, when he says he's in God mode, that's not just a catchphrase. He's really...
Printed on a shirt. Yeah, it looks good on a shirt, but he's just a man.
He's just a man, Sam.
And I think, again, it speaks volumes how... Like, Roman should be the obvious winner of this match, right? Going into Mania, the champ, doing the whole Roman-Cody thing. It's hard for me to think that they're not going to go into that Mania with at least Roman being the top guy. But they have just done such a good job at making you really want and believe that Sami can win.
Plus, we haven't seen Kevin come back in the mix. So
who knows?
And
he might show up.
Canadian.
He's from Canada. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! This is... So much could happen on Saturday.
Yeah, I like you said, the looking at it pretty like surface level, the obvious answer is Roman Reigns. But there is so much. I still think he's gonna just win the match, but there's so much that's gonna happen in the match that's gonna be bigger implications going forward. Or
the near falls in this match, I'm gonna have to have like 5 pairs of underwear like available because I'm gonna be shitting myself. When they did the Raw tag team belts and Sami stepped in for Jimmy, there were like 3 near falls that match where Sami was just kicking out with just a split second. Good. Roman Reigns best in the business when it comes to kicking out with literally 0.001 seconds left. There are gonna be so many spots where people are gonna think Sami's gonna win the match, and it's like he's gonna be right there. I think he's gonna have his fingertips on it, and then for some reason, whether it's Jey, a distraction, whatever it may be, he is just going to come up short. And maybe that leads to a match at Mania, maybe not. But I have high expectations for this match, and I think that it's going to deliver. I think it will.
Yeah,
it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. It really is.
I don't have much more to convey your same sentiment. I don't have a whole lot else to say. Maybe we shouldn't put anything on because like I want to in my heart. Here's how my heart would have chose these. Mm-hmm. I would have chose everything probably would have been the same. I would have chose Montez Ford, mm-hmm. and then I would have chose Sami Zayn. You know,
right. Feel good moments.
But I am here to compete. I am here to win that prediction.
We have to be smart. We have to be realistic.
We have to be smart.
And one thing too, I can't wait. This honestly might be my favorite part of the match. It will go down as one of my favorite parts. is Roman Reigns making his entrance and going into that match. Because all I think is John Cena going into that ECW one night stand match against Rob Van Dam.
He's going to get
down.
He's gonna get booed out of the building.
I hope people start throwing bottles and trash at him, dude. Fuck it, let it happen.
But Sammy's pop is gonna be insane
if he comes out to that theme song. I don't want to go back and revert to talking about the whole Daniel Bryan thing again, but if he comes out to that theme song, that pop might be louder than any pop Daniel Bryan got. I'll agree. If that happens, I'd agree with that. He is getting a bigger reaction than Daniel Bryan at that moment.
This is totally off basis. Where it's just because people who sing theme songs is unrelated to anything we've talked about this whole show. Where's Nakamura? Is he injured?
I don't think so. I think he's just kind of laying low.
Sucks.
I mean, he's older. I've heard these reports and stuff where he really doesn't care because he like lives in he just like surfing and like chills in Florida. Like he's like older. He went through his like
he
big
did have that
runs
match in
overseas.
Japan.
He did. I think again with WrestleMania season being around, I think you have your set matches. I think Triple H already kind of has the WrestleMania card set up for the most part. So it's like when there are wrestlers,
damn, we're getting no Shin. This sucks.
When someone's been out for
AJ's
so long,
still injured.
AJ's still injured. It's like why bring him back before Mania if you don't have? Is that Michael Jackson?
Shinsuke, what is this?
Michael Jackson is one of his influences.
Shinsuke. I just was looking at Shinsuke's Instagram, and the latest picture he posted says one of a kind, and it's like a illustration and looks like almost like a
oil painting or something.
It's a painting or like almost even like a stitching, whatever it is. It's Shinsuke Nakamura and Michael Jackson arm in arm. Anyways,
I think it's just like he's out and Triple H is like, we'll bring you back post Mania. Like we don't want to just throw you.
He would be a great like Raw. Yeah,
he would be a great post. I'm saying if there's like a ladder match for some belt, he could be a guy that gets just thrown in there. Yeah, because if they do something like that,
they need to. Yeah, they'll do something.
You brought this up, and I'm with you on this. I think the Gunther Intercontinental Belt championship match should be like him versus Sheamus and Drew type of thing. That shouldn't be a ladder match.
I forgot about them
that
too.
That should be a straight up wrestling match. But the United States, I think, could be a fun ladder match.
That'd be great. Theory, I'd
love that. Ford, Gargano, Miz. You could throw some SmackDown. Ricochet would be fucking cool. Like you can like because
but then you also have the tag titles where you can just throw random fucking people.
Titles.
You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be so many makeshift teams.
Yeah, because
now would bring the Street Profits over.
Right. Then you have the women's tag team belts. They're probably just gonna put random teams together. Yeah. They're doing Ronda Rousey and Shayna teaming up now. That'll probably lead to them winning, which is gonna be fucking dumb. But WWE, I think they have a lot of their matches set in stone, but I think they also have to. They have some matches they have to fill out here.
I hope they give something to like. We say it every week, but I love Damage Control. Like I think the two of them are so good. They present themselves
I think
well.
Dakota's injured right now. She's been on crutches.
Oh yeah,
she was on crutches for the when they had the steel cage match.
Yeah, but didn't she like use the crutch to hit her? Yeah, she might actually be injured.
I think it might be like a slight injury. Maybe that's why they're not doing anything. But yeah, I agree. They need to do more Damage Control. I thought they were doing a whole thing with Trick. I don't know why Lita came back now. That's just that just I guess was just a one-time thing.
What I heard is that was going to be the plan for Raw 30, and then they just because obviously they didn't do it, they're just like, well, we'll just do it on the next Raw, I guess. It makes sense.
Oh, all right. Well, it was just a weird coincidence that Lita debuted and like they have the match in Canada and they're not bringing Trish. All right, that's fair.
We don't know what's going to happen in the.
Maybe Trish shows up and maybe she shows up and low blows Bobby Lashley during their match. We'll see. Do we want to talk about AEW?
A little bit. We can't. I feel bad because AEW's been getting the back end for a while.
AEW will get their recognition. They have a pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks, so we'll give them their time. We'll give the predictions, and they'll get their episode. I didn't watch it too much. Admittedly, I did watch the Celtics last night. Shout out Jason Tatum, best fucking player in the NBA besides Nikola Jokic. I did see some of the stuff. I saw Mark Briscoe signed a contract with All Elite Wrestling. Mark
Briscoe is All Elite.
And I think that's great.
I
think it's really cool that he is going to be able to carry his family, his brother's legacy going into AEW. But one thing, and I'm not saying this in any negative way. I'm not trying to discredit Mark, AEW, or anything. I just like, it's kind of sucks that they do this after Jay dies and stuff. It's just like, I wish that they were able to get them on TV before. And it's like, the reason why he's on there is because of, circumstances and stuff, which it's a great thing. I'm very happy that they're giving him the contract, being able to go on TV and stuff, but it does suck that both of them weren't able to get that opportunity.
It was deserved for a while.
Yes.
And I get what you're saying.
There was stuff like they weren't able to be on TNT, or TBS didn't allow them to be on TV because of things that happened in the past. I get there's like behind the scenes stuff, but it's just, it is sad like seeing that Mark's getting it. Again, it's really cool, but it's sad that Jey isn't here to be a part of that. So, but very cool. I'm happy that he's going to be able to carry the titles, carry his brother's legacy. I will say during halftime of the Celtics game, I put on AEW, and the first thing I saw was John Moxley just busted open, bleeding.
Yeah,
because that's just
that was a fun match. I mean, like, Blackpool Combat Club is here, brother.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I was upset because me and Kevin were watching the Celtics game, and when I put it on, it was the end of that match, and I was like, damn, I wish it was the beginning of the match because I would have loved Kevin to actually watch that match, like where they're actually wrestling and like beating the shit out of each other, instead of seeing like a gimmicky match or something like that. I feel like it would have been a cool match to show someone that doesn't watch wrestling that much.
No, it was good. I mean, the biggest thing they have going now is they're doing MJF versus Danielson.
That's the Iron Man match they're doing.
Yeah, and again, this is gonna sound like it's just me being like the Daniel Bryan hater or Bryan Danielson hater. Either way, I'm not sold on the story. Maybe we're just getting too spoiled in the bloodline because there's nothing else in wrestling right now like the bloodline story.
No,
and because AEW is telling a great story with Mox and Hangman. They're gonna have their blow off match at Revolution. That there's been, with Renee backstage, and like they've had their past, and like that's been built up well. That's gonna be a crazy match. MJF and Danielson just, to me, isn't really hitting super crazy. I don't know, but AEW is doing good stuff right now. I think they have some injuries, but also just like it's hard, especially because we're a show that talks about both shows at the same time. And when one just has, like, if you were watching in our previous iteration, we were way more AEW talk. Way more AEW
and
talk.
I want to point that out, too, because when we talked about this last week, saying WWE is beating AEW right now, and people were kind of saying, like, we're being biased or this and that, whatever. If you, like, go back, like, to old channels, to old podcast episodes, me and John have been pro AEW for since the beginning.
I want to say we were like for 2 years of doing that. We were way more pro AEW and criticized WWE weekly.
And when we talk about WWE beating AEW right now, and let's be honest with you, they've always been better than AEW has never beaten WWE in
strictly in numbers
and like ratings and stuff.
Strictly
like WWE
numbers.
has always been better than AEW because it's fucking WWE. They're always going to be the Godfather company. There's going to be no wrestling company that trumps WWE. They have the money. They have the backing. It's a business. You know what I mean? But AEW is better, and we've said this. AEW is better wrestling. I think WWE is getting there. I think that with Triple H being involved, we're seeing more matches, like tag team matches. Guys it was the Alpha Academy versus whatever the tag team.
And
we talked about that.
Was
like,
a great match.
They gave them it was good wrestlers, giving them time. Triple H is starting to allow wrestlers to do that, which is great. But AEW has always been better with their pure wrestling matches. Right now, as far as storytelling goes, WWE is doing better at telling stories than AEW does.
And AEW was better at storytelling.
And I think, and we talked about guys not being here, I think CM Punk him leaving hurt a lot. And I think when he was in AEW, that's when it was like, okay, the storytelling is fucking awesome.
Even
They're doing a great
like
job.
before that, when like, especially because it was also credited because like, WWE was in a lull of just like for like years.
Yes.
And especially when we were talking about it, and like when Mox was champion, when Chris Jericho was champion, like there were these stories in AEW that like you would tune in weekly like we are now at WWE to see what happens next. What's the next thing that Moxie's going to say? What's the next thing that, what's Punk going to challenge MJF to, whatever.
And I think AEW came up at the perfect time when WWE was kind of like in that lull, and it was kind of like a culture shock because no one knew like, oh, it's a new company. How good is it going to be? And it was really, they started off really fucking good. And now we're past the honeymoon phase. Now it's like, okay, now we see what you can do. Now how are you going to build off?
But even if you look at recently when MJF was on his hunt for the title, like that was only we were doing this while he was on the hunt for the title,
100%.
and we were giving that the credit, and we were talking about that, and that took up a large chunk of our discussion time.
Obviously, it's me saying this, and it's like us talking about this. I don't think that we've been biased towards any company in particular. I think we've given fair criticism where we criticize the product when it's worth being criticized, and we praise the product when it's worth being praised. Right now, I think the AEW product, maybe not hitting a lull, but I do think it's, slacking a little bit. I agree with you. The whole Bryan Danielson MJF thing, the match to me isn't being built up as, Danielson can win this. I think this is being built up more of, let's have MJF go out and show that he can wrestle against.
I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic match.
I think it's going to be a fantastic match, but they haven't built it up to make me believe that Danielson's going to win. All I'm expecting from this match is, all right, let's see what MJF can do for an hour. I know he's going to win, but I want to see what he can do for an hour.
And obviously, every company has its ebbs and flows.
You have your
ups and flows, ups and downs, and it's just, hey, whatever. I don't know. I just want to reiterate. I watch AEW still weekly, and I tune in for.
We watch it. Yeah, we watch them every week and stuff. Maybe I'm not fully in tuned. I have it on, and I'm paying attention. And also, I think what AEW, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be, but they have the shows where they're pay-per-views, and then they have shows where it doesn't feel as big. So I feel that inconsistency is kind of can hurt them a little bit, because when you go from having an unbelievable show on Wednesday to the next Wednesday kind of being
tomorrow's Rampage is what's it called? It's Rampage Slam Dunk, or it's not that, but it's some it's some special thing where Rampage is gonna be 2 hours. And it's another special Rampage things. They do have they're running back the Elite versus Top Flight and AR Fox, and they have some matches on it. But
again, wrestling matches are great. They have a phenomenal roster where they can just go out and put on phenomenal wrestling matches, but. Just the storylines. That's what really you need to have that mix of good storytelling in the matches. You can have great matches, but if there's no substance behind it, there's no why should I care about this? That's where you start to lose me.
I think once Adam Cole is fully back, as much as I like the idea that trios titles, Kenny Omega and the Bucks, almost not an afterthought, but not being. They're third rung down in terms of who's, you know what I mean?
Because I understand they put the trios belts on them to help legitimize the belts and help build the prestige and stuff. But there's pros and cons to that. The pros, you have the belt on them. The cons are you kind of get pushed underneath the cart a little bit, and people don't care about you as much.
And they're also they're running back. I don't know if you saw it. Christian versus Jack Perry. Christian returned, beat up Jack Perry. Where it's all right, whatever.
Sure, I guess. What's Lucha doing? What's Luchasaurus doing?
He hasn't been on TV. And I don't know if he's injured. I don't know where he is.
I feel like I haven't seen him.
Credit to AEW, though. The women's division. Really, really good stuff. I'm really enjoying, Jamie Hayter's run has been fun, and now they're doing, it's almost like a AEW born versus... outsiders or whatever. So it's right now Ruby Soho is in the middle. She flourished in AEW, but she's technically should be aligning with Paige and Tony. Tony's great. Britt Baker is involved. The women's division, I think they're doing some really, really good stuff. Granted, the match last night wasn't anything special.
I didn't get the chance to catch it.
But
do you like what they're doing, Tony Storm and Saraya?
No. In terms of overall everything in the women's division, I like, but zoomed in specifically Tony Storm and Saraya, because they did I also just think Saraya is not the strongest talker. And they're doing this thing now where they're the punks and they're the bullies and they have spray paint.
Yeah,
they did this.
It's supposed
move.
to be an NWO type. They're doing a
they just
NWO.
Spray paint
an
L.
What's the L?
I think it's just for loser.
Oh.
That's all. Yeah, it's just high school bully shit.
Yeah.
But they did this one spot where Tony Storm or Britt Baker was in the corner, sitting in the corner, whatever, and Tony Storm was going to do the Rikishi butt
and then
thing.
She did.
Saraya spray painted an L on Tony Storm's butt, and you couldn't see it, and it didn't. I guess the idea was she was going to do the hip attack on Britt, and that would leave an imprint of an L because of the paint on her face. None of it didn't work. It didn't work. And I get that. You have slip-ups. Not everything works. I get it. It's, sometimes things like that are hard to play with live.
So I think I think they either turned Saraya heel too early, or they just made the heel turn not feel important. Because I feel like they just like did it randomly, just like she helped out someone or cost someone. I forget exactly what the circumstances were, but it was like I remember watching it and I was like, oh, is she a heel now? It was just like just so subtle, and it wasn't like built up or anything like that. I think they kind of rushed that a little bit. Not to say that I'm not the biggest fan of what they're doing. I do think it's kind of, I don't know, kind of boring, kind of generic, just like bullying. Like the spray paint I think is kind of stupid, but like so be it. But I feel like they could have waited a little bit to build her up as a heel. Like Saraya just came back. Like you gotta kind of have her like get back with the crowd, kind of build up that, you know, fan connection, and then once you do that, then you rip the Band-Aid off and have her turn heel.
She feels like she should have been a bigger deal, and she was for like 2 weeks.
I agree with you. She doesn't feel like this big return, this comeback to wrestling where she should be like positioned to be like going after the big belt and stuff. Like I feel like she's just an afterthought now.
And maybe that's because, you know, they saw her performances in the ring, and she, you know,
listen, she's been gone for a while. It takes time,
100%.
But like I think they're kind of rushing everything. I think they could have given it some more time, where like she becomes more of that fan favorite again. She doesn't wrestle every single week, but she could, you know, have a few matches here and there to kind of get, you know, the rust out, have the big matches at the pay-per-views, and then again rip the Band-Aid off. But I'm not the one writing writing the stories.
I think put Jamie Hayter up front. Jamie Hayter needs to be...
She's awesome.
She's great.
I love Jamie Hayter.
I think how they can start to steer the ship back. Jamie Hayter, number one with MJF, but like put a bigger emphasis on Jamie Hayter, especially because like to me the MJF and Danielson thing isn't working. Give a story. What they need to do is start with the Britt Baker cracks. Britt Baker versus, if they build up Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter, that's going to be. I was going to say huge. I don't know if a lot of the WWE world really pay attention to, you know, Jamie Hayter or Britt Baker or whatever. But in terms of AEW, that Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter match will be huge.
Big match, exactly.
I don't know. Credit where credit's due. Excited to see what MJF is doing next. I hate to say it because it's proven him right with his promo of like, once I'm champion, you guys are all going to be like, MJF is a boring champion.
He told us. Not boring, but he gave us the warning. I think that's just part of the character, I guess.
I think all just the chase is just going to be more entertaining.
The chase was better. I think the whole idea of like him giving that promo, him being gone for a long time, and like that whole story was phenomenal. Yeah. The only story in wrestling that I think was rivaling the Bloodline. And when I say rivaling, I mean the only other wrestling story that was worth mentioning. Like was popularity
Punk and MJF.
Well, MJF giving the whole promo and then like not showing up any. Like that whole thing. It's like, where's MJF? Like, was it real? Was it fake? I think that whole thing was the only other story in wrestling that was worth like not putting it in the same sentence, because the Bloodline story was still head and shoulders ahead of it, but it was the best thing AEW had going.
What are you gonna do?
So that's AEW, and I think
that's an AEW, and that's an episode.
Before we close out, we brought this up before, and I do want to point this out. Today is officially 900 days with Roman Reigns being the Universal Champion. Ooh. 900 days. And so
is this true? It's obviously going to be true. By the time WrestleMania comes around, that's not going to hit 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I'm like, that's why I really, if WWE has him lose both belts, it makes the whole thing feel bigger, more important. But man, that's crazy if WWE ends the reign before 1,000 days. Because when are we going to see that again? I don't know if we ever will, at least, you know, in this generation, in this, like, you know, era of wrestling. That's why I like the idea of them splitting the belt. So it's like, you know, Cody walks out with one belt, or Sami walks out, whatever, and then Roman can still continue that Universal reign. 100%. And then that could eventually, like, I think, because then you could have a match with Jey down the line. Jey could win it. You could have a rematch with Sami down the line.
Right. Because then you have SummerSlam.
Because then you have the 1,000 days, and at that point you can be like, okay, we can put an end to this. But man, 900 days, regardless of whether he makes it to 1,000 or not, 900 days is still impressive.
Oh, 100%.
almost 3 years as a champion.
But he's not doing it like Bruno Sammartino.
Bruno Sammartino.
He's no Bruno.
That was unbelievable. But I think too. I do want to point out. It just kind of speaks volumes how he's been able to hold on to the belt for that long, and it doesn't feel like it's being dragged on or it's not exhausting.
Oh yeah.
That it just tells you all you need to know about the character, the story.
I feel like there was definitely a point where it was like, okay, what do we do? And it's all, but the bloodline story, obviously they've been doing it the whole time, but the real kick of the bloodline story, kicking in with the past or whatever. I don't know what you want to say, 6 months or whatever.
They've done a good job of rejuvenating the storyline when it felt like it was starting to die a little bit.
Right.
Like with the whole Clash of the Castle with Drew, everyone's like, Drew's going to win this. It's coming to an end. Solo comes in, he debuts, and then all of a sudden Sammy's really in them now. So that added a whole new layer to the story. Credit where credit is due. Shout out WWE. This is the greatest title reign that we have ever seen. Since we've been fans, probably the best title reign in a few decades. So credit where credit's due. They've done a great job, and we'll see where when it ends, where it takes us.
With that said, that is episode 14 of the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. If you are listening to this whole thing, you want to listen to it again on audio, we are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Again, always forget to mention that at the top. But, if you know, I feel like you'll figure it out. You can follow me at Raspy Taylor on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.
You can follow me on Twitter at Dante on Deck, and then Dante Toro /Dante Toro 11 everywhere else. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Stache Club W, and find us on TikTok as well. I think that's Stache Club Wrestling. I don't think that's Stache Club W.
On YouTube?
No, on TikTok. I think it's Stache Club Wrestling.
Stache Club Wrestling.
Yeah, look up Stache Club. We're all over the place. And they didn't think we'd get to 14, John.
They didn't think we'd get to 14. Hopefully, we'll see if we get to 15.
We'll see.
Halfway to 30.
It's looking a little rocky, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you, everyone, for over 36,000 subscribers.
Yes, thank you so much. We're growing. We're getting there.
It's crazy.
We love you guys. We appreciate you. For the people watching, you know what we did. We'll see you next time.